Go tell that lonesome liar. Go tell that midnight rider. Tell the gambling, rambling, backslider. Tell them God Almighty going to cut him down because you might run on for a long time. Run on, ducking and dodging. Run on children for a long time. Let me tell you, God Almighty going to cut you down. Welcome to episode 104 of Nerds Gone Rogue. My name is Matthew Keel at Infinite_Rewind, wherever you might find me. Alongside me, my bro, Moose at Svhenn Kluel. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Doing very good. It's Monday. Made it past Monday.
Sweet.
Weekend was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Things are good. So
good to hear. And also alongside us, no one else. No one else. You wanna know why? Something happened. Corey is now a father. And we are going to raise glasses in his honor. Well, I'll go. There we go. Cheers.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
Cheers, sir.
Congratulations to him and Sana and their trio that is now a very beautiful family.
Yes. Not that it wasn't before, but
well, I
feel like a kid makes it a family because I don't think they have pets that I know of, right?
I think they have a cat.
Okay, you just never see the cat on camera or hear him talk about it.
We'll just, we don't know, so we'll just make up a bunch of animals. I'm pretty sure they got a chinchilla in there.
I was gonna go with parakeet, man.
I mean, probably, but I feel like that would make more noise.
It's the only thing that talks to Sana, because he's talking to her. He's too busy talking to us. So he just got a parakeet, sat in a cage next to her, put a backwards hat on him, and said, "Have at it."
Parakeet with a backwards hat going, "Yes, dear. Yes, dear."
Yes, dear.
God, that sounds like a genius plan.
He keeps repeating, "Yes, dear. Yes, dear," or "Have you seen my Switch? Have you seen my Switch? Have you seen my Switch? Nintendo the best."
You're welcome. Yeah, no, but like in terms, like yes, you're right. They had a beautiful family before, but I feel like Sana was doing all the work in that department.
Yeah.
I mean, Corey's a very handsome man. He's very handsome in person.
Yes.
Let's be real.
Okay.
But no, we've seen pictures, and their child is adorable. I can't wait till she starts talking back. So, Moose, let's get the video game, shall we? Woo! What you been playing?
Whole lot of Mafia 3. So it's on the challenge list for me to get done. Took a little bit to get back into it, but I finally got back into it. Got in my swing of things, and so I'm working on taking over the districts. So you get like 3
killing racists, taking names.
Yeah, I kill racists every step, and now I'm just killing people because like you'll go to like a site. So I think Mafia 3 is worth playing. I would say it's a 7.5. At the worst, it's a 6.
Okay.
So at the worst. Actually, at the worst, it's a 7. I think it's a good game. It does get repetitive. A, B. There's some bugs. I have some gripes with it, but the story keeps me going. I find myself like when I'm riding in the car, like you're working with people in the city, and so like you're finding out things Like you got a guy that you worked with in Vietnam who does like your intel, and he's part of the one of the later DLCs, like his main story. And so, anyways, you're working with him, and he tells you about people in the town that are, movers and shakers that you got to take down because you're basically taking down the Sicilian mob in New Bordeaux. And like one of the guys has a radio station because he does talk radio, and so you could just like I'll just end up sitting there listening to him just to see what he's like and what he's thinking and stuff like that. And he's a real piece of shit, but
good motivation to kill him.
Or do take him down and then kill him. You basically when you got an enemy like that, you basically want to burn everything down around them, and then you want to kill them. You know what I'm saying? You want to destroy their whole empire, watch them struggle to try
scorch the earth so it doesn't grow back.
Right, and then just kill them in the end. But so pluses of the game: soundtrack's amazing, story is amazing. I think the world is really cool. Like driving around is a lot of fun. Some minuses: repetition. So like each district works where like you'll have two things going on in a district. So like right now I've got the Southern Union, aka the Klan. And so I've got to work that section of this district. And then I can't remember what the other one is because I usually do one at a time. So you have two rackets in a district. And you have to cause like $100,000 worth of damage for the head person of that racket to like flip their shit, and then you can go, interrogate them, take them out, or whatever. And so, so it's a lot of repetition. It's a lot of interrogate this dude, interrogate a person to find out information, kill one of their henchmen, like their head henchman, or it's just destroy their property. And so like almost every racket in every district has that same kind of like cycle. Like it's the same cycle every time. And so right now I'm at the point where I'm just like moving through things kind of fastly trying to beat the game. And so, but it's cool though, because you can play it like one or two ways. Like when you find like it's a stealth game, so you like sneak in, whistle, and the person comes over, silent kill them. Move on, you clear out the whole place, get up to the person that you're either trying to like interrogate or kill, and you can actually interrogate them, and then you'll talk to them, you get information out of them, or you'll intimidate them, and then you have an option to either kill them and get $4,000 or like $2,000, or you can recruit them and it adds like $5,000 to your racket. Cool. So I end up usually letting them live and recruiting them, because 9 times out of 10 they're like, this person's not going to stand for this, and they're like, they're like whatever, and you're and they're like,
oh geez, Rick, I don't know what to
do. Yeah, exactly. And so it's pretty cool. I'm having a lot of fun. I've got a silenced pistol, so I'll just go around, and it's cool like setting up the shots. Like I'll be leaning out and like wait for the walking sentry to walk right into my sights and fire and blow his brains out. And then I switched from a Pasadena, which is kind of like an AK-47. I switched from that to a silenced machine gun, just because it's silenced. So like I can the accuracy is just as good, if not better, than the pistol. So I can, but the only thing is it like takes 2 shots each time you pull the triggers. So you're automatically putting 2 bullets in a guy's head. But anyways, it's a lot of fun sneaking around, and then like I'll clear the whole area, and then I'll go back and like grab all the money, grab everything I need, like destroy stuff if you got to destroy stuff. And then so I'm working towards the end of Mafia 3, and that was a long talk about Mafia 3.
Hey,
it's a totally good game. I think you need to play it. I think you would like it.
I want to play it. I genuinely do.
I know, yeah. I think you would find finding the album covers to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
because you like the soundtrack is really awesome, and I find myself listening to a Google. Like I used to be on Spotify changed over to Google Play just because the Spotify family plan was like ridiculous. The restrictions were crazy. So I switched over to Google Play. Like they have playlists on both for the Mafia soundtrack, so you can like listen to the playlists. And so I'll just sit there at work and put it on sometimes and just listen to some of the old music. And then like I started to listen, like I didn't get to talk to it about in the B-sides, but the Animals. So I've been listening to the Animals, and not because of House of the Rising Sun, but because we got to get out of this place.
Hell yeah.
So great song. Great band. I really enjoy a lot of the stuff that they do. I'm disappointed in myself that I haven't really looked into them earlier. I was aware of them before playing Mafia 3, so I was at least aware of them. I just didn't know how like big they were. You go to their album section on Google, and it's like it's insane. Google includes the singles too, which is ridiculous.
It includes the singles and compilations and
well, see, like Spotify breaks it out. Spotify's like albums first, and then it does singles, and then it does compilations. Like Google Play is just albums, and the singles will be up in there with that. And it's like, you guys got to do a better job at this. If you want to take on Spotify and Apple Music, like you guys need way better curators. You need to like step up your game. Like, but I feel they might not be investing in it too much because they're starting YouTube Music, which they're going to roll Google Play Music into once they can get the features into that app. And Jeff and I have been. I joined shortly before they changed over because now they changed their tier structure. But we're grandfathered in for as long as we have Google Play. So, because you get like YouTube, so like Google Play doesn't give you free YouTube Red anymore. Like, anyways, so been listening to them, and so the soundtrack's pretty cool. Something like I said, glitchy. Like I have some complaints about like traversing. So like you'll be running, and it'll be something that like doesn't even come up to your knees, and you're like, I can't get over this. Why doesn't he just step up? Like, why do I have to hit a triangle button to make him step up? Like he's like,
it's like those little walls in Dark Souls. I mean,
so there's that, and then there's also this thing like I've actually tested it. Like there's fencing, like you can jump up and climb over, but then there's like another wall of an area that you want to get into, same height, but he won't jump up and go over it. And you're like, okay, that's ridiculous. Like
they want you to go in a certain way to trigger a certain thing.
Right. So
it all goes back to AI logic or programming logic.
So sometimes it can be a little ridiculous. But I will say in their to their credit, I played it when it first came out, and I'm not saying that I had a terrible amount of issues with the game and that it was really buggy, but they've added a lot of content to the game. They fixed a lot of mechanics. As far as I know, I don't remember having a quote unquote bullet time gauge with the game. So if you hit triangle, you'll enter bullet time mode or slow-mo shooting. And so, that's pretty cool. The gauge fills up after a while. I don't think they had that in the original game. So, and they've cleaned up some of the bugs and issues. There's 3 DLCs. I bought the digital deluxe edition when it came out. I think it came out in 2016.
Yeah.
I bought the digital deluxe edition, and I hear all the pieces.
2017.
No, it was 16.
Was it 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fall of 2016. Okay. But it got. I feel like the reviews for the DLC, like the trailers make it look really cool, and it got fuck you, Alan. Alan just entered the chat, and he's like, "What's up, Goose and Matt? Two sexy dudes." Anyways,
because Goose dies halfway through. Yeah,
that's right. So,
cheers, Alan.
been playing a lot of Mafia 3 because I'm trying to get that off my plate. I've queued up Final Fantasy 15 as my next game after that, so I downloaded that and all the DLC that I get with it. Mm-hmm. I bought that deluxe edition for like dirt cheap when it was on sale. And probably a game you're going to talk about, but Hollow Knight. I haven't told you, but I got past that dude. Remember that dude I was telling you about that was like, should I go that way? And you're like, yeah, you just got to figure out what he's got to do and go that way. Like, I figured out his pattern and beat him. I just haven't spent enough time to like really explore going that direction. So I need to go that way and figure out what's going on. But I have been playing a lot of Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
On the Switch. So my main games on PS4 or main game is really Mafia 3. And then some stuff here or there, like I might do Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3 if people need help. But I'm trying to, mainline that.
You gotta get going on your challenge.
Because especially with next month coming, well, the end of the month is freaking the end of July is I think whatchamacallit comes out. Chasm is the 30th. Dead Cells is the 7th. And then the 14th is Death's Gambit. So it's like 3 weeks in a row. There's my indie games. But anyways, so I've been playing a lot of Octopath Traveler at work. I went with Ulbrich, who's the warrior. For those who don't know what Octopath Traveler is, look it up. It's pretty cool. It's a classic RPG by Square Enix. It's by the same developer who did Bravely Default.
Yes.
Yeah, so they did Bravely Default. This is their next game. I figured out why I love it because it gives me like Star Ocean vibes. Not combat wise, but just like the look and traversing the game. So it takes me back to like that pixelated time. Like it's so I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Anyways, there's 8 people in the game. You can pick one person to start and then you get their story, and then you just move through the world and you can pick up the other 8 players as you move along. And so I started with Ulbrich, who's the warrior, and then I went down and picked up Tressa, who is the merchant, and now I am currently working on Cyrus's story. He is the scholar. And what I thought like those people would be like the merchant would be locked into being a merchant and not be able to like fight in combat. Like I thought like maybe they would be like a support class. Tressa's like, she's a boss, man. She like owns stuff. So and what's cool is, so combat, you have 2 attacks or 2 ways of attacking. You carry 2 weapons. So she carries a polearm and a bow, and then Ulbrich carries a longsword and a polearm. And so you can pick which one you're going to do damage with, and you'll find that like certain enemies have certain weaknesses, and like they have a number under their shield. They have a number next to their vulnerabilities, and it tells you, okay, well, if it's 3, that means they take 3 hits, and then if you break their defense, and it causes them to be knocked out for the next turn. So combat's pretty cool. You can break your enemy's defenses if you hit them the right amount of time with their weakness. Their weakness helps you get there faster. So like if they're weak against polearms, if you use polearms, you can usually break it pretty quickly. But then also you get this thing called boost. So like at the end of each turn, when it cycles back next to the next cycle of rounds, you get a boost. And so like in the upper right corner, there's 5 circles, and they fill up, and it fills up for each character and then individually. And so if you are like, well, this guy is almost dead, I'm ready to go, you can hit the R1 button however many times you want. I think the maximum is 4. You can only boost up to 4 times, but the gauge will fill up to 6 or something. And then you'll do whatever attack you're doing, you'll do an extra amount. So like if you're doing polearm, instead of hitting 1 time, you'll hit 4 times or 5 times, however many times you're boosting, and it causes extra damage. And then they also have special attacks, like Ulbrich has like a slash that attacks everyone on the field. What's her name? Tressa has a attack that, not an attack, but I'm sorry, she steals. So she can steal money. So the main reason to have her in the game is so that you could buy special stuff off people. So like also when you're running around towns, you can challenge people with Ulbrich, or with Tressa, you can buy stuff from them. I bought in two earrings off people and put them on, people, my players respectively. But then also you can buy items for like cheaper or armor that might not be available at the merchant through her. And then also she has a talent that allows her to steal money. And there will be like a successful rate under the enemy that you're trying to rob. And usually you can only rob like humanoid type characters, like humans. But then also like you'll walk into town and it'll be like, Tressa found 208 gold that somebody left behind. And you're like, okay, awesome, cool. So I think she's the way, besides finding money in chests, she's the way that you're going to get money, because there's no like getting money, like, typical RPG. You don't find money at the end of a fight. And then great game. My only minuses for the game is there's no enemy health gauge. Number one.
Yeah, that fucking sucks.
It sucks because you're like, I don't know how long this person has to live. And then you're like, I don't know. So, like,
should I heal before this, or
Right. Well, my other thing was like, you're like, do I want to use my boost attacks? So listener at home knows, like, the boost attacks just just use your turn. It doesn't really cost you anything other than your boost buildup, which means you accumulate at the end of each turn. But you also have SP, which is kind of like your special points. And so your special abilities, like, so Ulbrich has the longsword, so he can do the slash that attacks everyone on the field. He can use the polearm to stab one person, extra damage, or he can use the polearm to attack, multiple targets on the field. That costs your SP. So I find that, like, it's a balance. Like, I can understand if the boost costs like real SP points as well, then I'd be really mad that they don't have a health gauge, because then you really feel like you're wasting stuff. But if you're just using your boost, you're just building it up by waiting. So you just end up sitting there, like, building up. Like, I'll build up my boost 3 or 4 times and then just use my boost all at once. Then I'll just do one attack and build it up and use it all at once. So you find yourself doing a repetitious cycle. But then, like, you can mix it up by putting in some of your special abilities and whatnot. And, like, boss fights, you're like, I don't know when this is going to end. So you just end up healing, like, ever so often. But that's one of my gripes. And then Jeff brought this up. He was like, there's no, like, connection between the characters. And I was like, okay, well, that's, like, how typical RPGs used to be. Like, you would meet somebody and they'd join your party and whatever. But I think I misheard him, and what he was saying was, like, as you play the game, like, there's no cutscenes or whatever, or scenes where, like, there's dialogue interlacing the lives and the interaction of the characters. So I feel like that's a negative too. But other than that, I'm enjoying the game, thoroughly enjoying it. Okay, so Alan's in the party, and he says, I read that you'll see the enemy health gauge when you have the scholar in your party. That is awesome, Alan, because that's what I'm working on. I'm working on the Clyde. I'm working on the scholar next. So I went Ulbrich, Tressa, and now I'm doing Clyde. I think his name's Clyde. Anyways, he's the scholar. So that will be freaking awesome. Thank you for the information, Alan. I guess that works because, like, when you're looking at, like, money, you're like, well, how do I get money? And then you're like, oh, well, I just got to find it in chests. And you're like, oh, no, I get Tressa, and she'll find it along the way, or I can steal it from somebody.
Tressa, make it rain!
I know. Ed's in the chat saying it's Bravely default battle system, which is cool. I'm enjoying it, but I think the addition of the scholar and being able to see the health bar will allow me to better enjoy combat, because I can gauge, like, because, like I said, then it's just not like a mindless routine. Like, you can see their life bar, so you can see where the end is, instead of just being like, I'm just going through this routine for nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to the other characters. I played the hunter in the demo. She can capture stuff, and so you can summon that later to do damage, which is cool. So it's just going to be fun, like, having all of them at different times. Apparently Therion gets to do the money too, which he's the thief, so that's cool. He can steal as well. But anyways, great game. I highly recommend it. If you've got a Switch and you're looking for something. Matt, What have you been playing? I know I was a little long-winded. But
No, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I've I have been playing Octopath Traveler because fuck your dumbass for selling me on playing that demo. And fuck you again for knowing my taste and knowing I'd like it.
Can I just point out to the listeners that somebody said I haven't found a game that's been like grabbing me lately, and I said try Octopath Traveler. You might like it.
Well, it wasn't. But see, here's the thing. Usually, when people just say that, I tend to not really. It's like, oh, okay, fine. But
you don't expect someone to actually dive deep and give you something.
But see, you actually talked about it. I'm like, motherfucker, that sounds really good. and just for the listeners, yeah, it is really good. I've only done the demo. I started.
You just picked it up today, correct?
Yes.
Like the actual game. Like you just got it in Captain Toad. And
yes. I had some GameStop credit. Walked into the GameStop that's right down the street from Jefferson, where I work, and found out I had $150 worth. So I picked up Captain Toad, Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus, and Octopath Traveler. In the demo, I started with the Dancer. Because
Primrose.
Yes, I started with Primrose the Dancer. I did that mainly because I'm like, all right, let's find the weirdest one. And I'm like, Dancer. Because like I could see because for some reason I was torn between Primrose and Tressa. And then I realized two things. Okay, Tressa's not weird because Moonlighter. And also Tressa is the ex-girlfriend of an old roommate that I just don't want to deal with. So she can come later. but what is Ed saying? Shock, Matt.
You didn't get just shapes and beats because you're the music maestro.
No. If I want shapes and beats, I'll play Luminous, which I probably will get on Switch at some point.
When did Corey say that? That's funny. You guys are dorks with your hats, Corey.
We did it for you, sir. Did it for you. But we've got to have backwards hats here. It's just, it didn't feel right without it. But I played that, and then I moved into Ulbricht's story, and now I could just start over because I'm going to. What I like most about that is how you get to a town, you meet the next member of your posse, and you have to actually backtrack through their story to catch up. It reminds me of like if you've ever seen the movie Slacker, except you actually get context, which is cool. But I actually think like the stories individually seem rather rote and simple and somewhat easy. But I feel like they're tied. Of the two I've seen, they tie them together really well. Yeah, and I feel like they're on their way to something cool, and I hope that pans out.
I do like that. Like when you go to another person's town, like start as Ulbrich, I go to Tressa's town. Like it asks you if you want to hear like the beginning story. Mm-hmm. And so you actually play as that character doing their beginning story for a little bit, and then like when you go off to, oh hey, there's pirates up in the northern caves, go fight them. You're the person you go to that town as like goes with them, and you have a full party instead of just that one person. Whereas and then I was looking at it today, like when you look at the world map, there's like more chapters. So like
which weren't there in the demo.
Right. Ulbricht's next chapter is like chapter 2, I think he has to be level 27. And Tressa's is like this about the same level. So I was like, oh, that's cool. We get more stories as we go. And so I think that's gonna be pretty cool. So I hope it pans out. But I agree with you. I think they're interesting. They do a good way of like telling the story, because like they have like dialogue read, and then they have you read it. So like maybe the person who's responding will just give like a general reaction, like, "Oh, hey, look what you did," and then like there's like 2 sentences worth of text that you can read that gives you a little bit more story for them. So it's like if you just wanted to do the audio and skip reading, you could do that and get the gist of the story or what's going on. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
also, like I had played. I started Captain Toad while I was still at work.
Mm-hmm. How you liking it?
I love that game.
Did you play it on Wii U? Sorry,
yes.
Okay, so you did play it originally.
And Captain Canada is onto something when he says that's like low key the best Wii U game. I feel like Super Mario Maker is probably the more important of the Wii U games.
Okay.
But Captain Toad is really cool in that it subverts platformers. It is essentially a 3D platformer where you cannot jump. And the fact that they do the game that way, it creates one of the cooler puzzle games I've ever seen. I think the way that they present each puzzle is really cool. How it's just like that floating little. I mean, I guess it's not really a diorama, but you know, it's just that one little bit in space that you have to work your way through. And I think the puzzles are good. Like they're just challenging enough. And each little stage has a bonus objective for you to get like 100%. And now there's you can play hide and seek with Pixel Toad, which I haven't done yet, but you know,
because you said that they added content, so that's pretty.
They added a lot of content based on Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Captain Toad. It like I would actually say this game should be played by more people than it has been, and I hope like what was I gonna say? I hope like Bayonetta and Donkey Kong, it like finds a bigger audience than it did on Wii U. I would love for that to happen.
Now, see, my problem is like I wanted to get Tropical Freeze, and I'm like, Corey laughs at me because he's like, haha, you're never going to find them on sale because Nintendo never puts their stuff on sale.
Which they don't.
And it's like they just need to like learn from Microsoft and Sony, and they will make even more money if they put their stuff on sale. Because you might get 100 people to buy your game in like 2 months, but if you put it on sale, 500 people would have bought it. You know what I mean?
True.
So anyways, it just frustrates me. So I'm like, I am probably not going to pick up Tropical Freeze, and I have a feeling it'll go on sale digitally well before the physical version will. So I'll just pick it up digitally when I can for like a certain price. But you see them having weekly sales. Mm-hmm. Nintendo, they're having weekly sales on the eShop, and I feel they're moving in the right direction. They're just like they're online. They're about 20 steps behind, Microsoft and Sony, as far as like having better sales, flash sales, like quarterly sales, holiday. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's still not enough. Like your games are only maybe at the most 20-25% off. Like you gotta go steeper than that. Well, and I understand sometimes you'll get you're close to release. So, Tropical Freeze during the holiday season, 1 week, do a massive sale, take it down to 50% off. Boom, yeah. I will buy that in a heartbeat. I'm not saying it has to be every time or as often as Microsoft or Sony are, but work towards that. Throw your freaking customers a bone. Otherwise, you're not gonna. They could be making so much more money hand over fist than they are if they could get past that. So,
and I agree. At the same time, I being based in reality, don't think they will.
Right. No. I don't think they will either.
But I also think that you know, the one thing Nintendo has over the other two, this has been my opinion for a very long time. I think they have a more consistent first party in quality of games. Like, I'm not talking about do they push HD graphics or whatever, but they never put out a game that's broken. They never put out a game with glitches. Like, every game that comes out of Nintendo works, and that's tough. That's very tough. But Nintendo has held themselves to that standard for more than 30 years since the NES seal of quality was unveiled on the world.
Yeah.
But does that mean every game is always worth $60? I would not pay $60 for Wonderful 101. And I had my fair amount of side eye saying $40 for Captain Toad, and even $40 for Tropical Freeze. Like,
Tropical Freeze is over $50, dude. It's $59.99.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is not $40. I would have bought it at $40. No, dude.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was $39. Oh.
No, it is not $39. I would have bought it at $39.
Okay. Well, all right. But like, okay, then wow, I really overpaid for that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I dealt you a blow there.
No, that's cool. I mean, it's still one of the best platformers I've played in the past 5-10 years. But like, here's the thing. I also know that's not, platformers are not 100% your speed. I know you like them.
I love platformers. I just haven't gotten back to them in a while.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it is what it is. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is fun, and you know what? I'll tell you this, Moose. Next time you come up to PA, I'll just give you my copy for a while. I'll just send it with you. So cool. If for some reason you haven't picked it up by then, let me know. I'll be like, here, take it. Yeah. And just ship it back when you're ready. But
fine with that.
Yeah. Hey, you got to share games somehow. Am I right?
That's right.
But the other thing I have been playing is I'm still playing Bush League Hockey.
Nice.
This game, like, it just grabs me, like, right in the heartstrings. Like, it's so dumb. and like, each time, like I'm liking the collectible aspects of it. You can collect hockey cards by doing certain challenges and story mode games. I think it's pretty bonkers how they do certain things. Like, they'll want you to like beat the team by a certain amount of goals, or they'll want you to just straight win a game. My favorite is when they want you to just win a game, all of a sudden you are playing like the best team in the world.
Okay.
Like a team that has, you know, middling to lower ratings as far as, like, you know, the scaling goes.
Okay.
Well, I had one objective, and it was a story objective, so you actually had to do that to progress the story. It said win the game and perform these 2 other tasks. The 2 other tasks went out the window before the first period ended, mainly because the score at the end of the first period was 7-7.
Jesus.
Like, okay. I beat this team 19-18. Like, it was fucking terrifying. And like, yeah. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just done. I don't care about those other 2 objectives. I am beating this team today, right here, right now, for all the world to see, even though no one else is in this room. Right. So I won the game, and I'm like, man, I really sucked on those other 2 objectives. But Bush League Hockey has my heart in a weird way. And and I know I just saw Lee pop in the chat. Lee, how are you, sir? Nice to see you. The game I'm talking about, because I knew you were going to ask, because you are a sports game person too. It's called Bush League Hockey. We talked about it on our last episode. I will say it is not a great game, but it has a severe amount of heart that keeps me coming back. I like the fact that you can fight with the sticks in the game. You can trigger a guy to not drop a stick on a fight because you get him so pissed off, and that's fun. But yeah, no, the controls are not great. I know you like NHL. It is not smooth. It is not fast. It is not. I mean, it is like a 5.5 to 6.5 game. It is not. It's not an 8. It's not a 7. Like it's. But the game has a lot of heart, and I respect it. So I will keep playing it. I am going to go for the platinum in that game. I am really excited for it.
Okay.
So other than that, Reba and I spent Saturday night playing Adventure Pals.
Okay.
And
You've talked about that.
I got a platinum.
You got a platinum.
I got my 99th platinum.
Congratulations.
She still has to do one more task to get hers, but I told her I'm going the entire distance with her. So it's really cool that she is kind of on board, and she's already saying, so what's our next game? And I'm like, man, I love you. So yeah, that is going to be, what we keep playing. That game's good. I think next we'll probably either do Unravel 2 or Swords of Ditto. Both games look good. Now, so we've been going a while. It's taken us a long time to get to our topic. My topic I came up with this week, and it's something that I think about kind of on a regular basis. So Lee just said something about I've lost many games this summer that I usually don't. 2 losses in Mexican Train Dominoes and 2 games in NHL 18. Well, okay. I don't know what Mexican Train Dominoes is, but
it's a dominoes game where you start with certain blocks in the center and then you have to build a train out and get rid of all of your pieces. It's kind of like, was it Jim Rummy, where you have to get rid of all your dominoes.
Okay. All right.
So it's just you have to get rid of all your dominoes before, to be the first person, quote unquote, out. So,
okay.
Mexican Train's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's a tremendous amount of fun. I love it. But you have to match what's already down. So you got double-sided dominoes, obviously, so you have a 6 and a 7, and so you can match a 6 with a 7, but you can't put an 8. So you have to match what's already out there, and if you can't, everybody picks their worst. So it's like I said, everybody picks their quote-unquote worst card to give to you, so they pick their worst domino and hand it over to you. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great game. I haven't played in forever, so.
Okay. But. Actually, speaking of games, I will talk about a Kickstarter I saw. I haven't backed it because I just don't have the money. But it's called Cthulhu Death May Die.
Ooh.
I shared it somewhere, and I think you saw it.
I did. I liked it.
It's it's by Cool Mini or Not Games. The guy, the main designer, I think his name is Eric Lang. He's designed a lot of games that I actually didn't realize that he designed, and they were really cool. But it takes a lot. It has really interesting miniatures. It's an episodic type thing where you get a box. You have a bunch of tiles you can lay down, but there are episodes in the box. And apparently, Becky just challenged Matt to train dominoes for extra life. Fucking count me in.
Yeah.
I will let Becky take me to school.
Sounds like a good time.
And then I'll just beat her in Rocket League 1-on-1. Yeah, I'll do it, Becky. Come at me, bruh. Anyway, and you could tell her I said that, Lee. In fact, when are you guys coming back on the show? We have a chair that's empty, so one of y'all needs to fill it, if not all of y'all. But no, Cthulhu Death May Die. Very intricate, very detailed, but actually surprisingly simple. It operates on the same mechanics as Pandemic. There are like 10 starting characters you can pick from, each with different abilities, different pluses, different minuses. And on their Kickstarter, they actually have a playthrough. Playthrough's about an hour with them explaining it. So if you can figure it out, you could go a lot quicker than that, which is cool. And they have a Kickstarter goal where I think the game itself is 100, which is that's not out of the realm of possibility for a game with miniatures these days. But they have a tier that's $250. Let me tell you why this is fucking. Well, I think it's cool, but there's one called I think it's called it's called Relay Rising. I've not read enough Lovecraft. Well, I've not read any Lovecraft. I've just wanted to. It comes with a board that is actually it's actually a 2-foot statue of Cthulhu as the board. And I don't really. They talk about the episode in the Kickstarter, but I didn't really dig into it. But I feel like that's worth mentioning because, like, hey, you want a 2-foot Cthulhu? You have to find a spot for.
Yeah.
Here you go. Now I know that a lot of commenters were like, "Dude, I'm not gonna. I don't like. I want this episode, but I do not have space for a giant 2-foot Cthulhu." Because really, who does? I mean,
I don't think anybody does.
I don't think. I mean, Cthulhu's a really cool mythos and probably some good lore there. But I mean,
I feel like Cezanne would make space for it.
I feel like if I had that bagel, would just pee on it, and then that would be, and then I'm like, I can't play this game anymore.
Well, that's why you don't put it down at his level. It's got to be high. You got to put it out of the level of the kids.
I mean, I'm with you there, but like I'm just saying, like, where am I going to put it? I don't have a table I can put a 2-foot Cthulhu on.
All right. I understand.
I mean, maybe put it on the lawn. I don't know. But I feel like that's a cool looking game. It sounds really cool. The characters, their abilities and the way that they sort of you can use them as a team. It is really interesting, and also there's some randomly generated traits at the beginning of the game, all of which are I guess psychologically based. Like you can get PTSD, or you can get OCD, or I don't remember what the other one was that I saw in the playthrough, but like each of them have something you have to do, and that affects the segment of your turn in some way, and I thought that was really deftly done. So yeah, that's a cool game that I saw on Kickstarter, and maybe, but I doubt it. I'll probably wait for it to actually come out and then try and get it, or maybe slacker back it or something. But we were talking today about topics for the show. The topic I sort of had was talking about social issues in games. And how I got this is I was in the car with Reba yesterday or the day before, and she was listening to this podcast that was talking about like it was talking about sexism in the video game industry. And some of one of the things I don't like when people do this is not necessarily that they do it, because it's a subject that needs to be tackled. I feel like highlighting everything that's wrong first is a very it's a disservice, because you're saying automatically you're behind the 8 ball. Why even try?
Right.
And I feel like that's unfair. But like, we listened for maybe 40 minutes, and I'm sitting here like, yes, but why is this special about the game industry? And then and then they start talking about why it's special about the game industry, because a thing like Gamergate happened in 2012 now? I don't remember. But like, Zoe Quinn was at the center of that. She got a hate campaign, and like a lot of female people took a lot of shit on the internet unfairly and unjustly. Hell, I mean, we all know Anita Sarkeesian, and she has talked about, tropes of women in video games. I'm not going to comment on whether she's correct or incorrect. I just feel like she's shining light on a subject and getting people to think about it. I feel like the bullshit that she's had to endure just doing that is unfair. And you could sit there and go through her videos and dissect it and point out all the plot holes you want. It doesn't change the fact that shit is there. But one thing that made me angry was you have to listen for like an hour before you get to like a story like Amy Hennig. And I'm not even sure they actually mentioned her. Like, Amy Hennig created and directed Uncharted 1 through 3, I guess. And I feel like, what?
I think she only did 1 and 2. I don't think she did all 3.
Well, whatever. She directed one of the bigger franchises on one of the bigger console platforms, and she is a clear and present success story. And it's also a reason why I want her to release a game. I want her to not. I don't want her to be away too long before people going, oh, you did that. Yeah, don't need it. Because in Hollywood, you do the same thing long enough, you just get typecast. I mean, look at like the Brat Pack from the 80s. None of those guys got movies for a while, except like maybe Judd Nelson.
I apologize. You were right. She did 1 through 3. They pushed her out for 4.
Yeah. And
she either moved out or they pushed her out.
Yeah, I feel like she probably moved out because she didn't want to do it anymore, which is fair. But
she went to EA
and well, they did EA things.
They did the same thing. They did their EA thing, and she's moving along.
But really, what I'm trying to do here is I want to talk about bring up social commentary in video games. Like, I mean, we watched E3, we watched Sony press conference. We watched the Sony press conference. You saw Ellie and I don't remember the other girl's name. You saw them kiss. And then in more than one Facebook group I'm in, I saw people going, I don't have a problem with homosexuals, but I don't need it in my video games. Thanks. And I'm like, clearly you do have a problem.
Right, exactly. You can't make that statement. You can't make that statement.
That's like I'm not a white supremacist, but white people kind of awesome.
Yeah. Right.
Like that's a statement you just fucking made. Right. I find that shit frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Now, the one thing I am going to say, I think that the most frustrating part about bringing social issues into games, and it doesn't matter which one you want to talk about, be it female empowerment, wage gap, inequality, any of it. The one thing I don't like is when a piece of art of any kind evokes politics but doesn't pick a side.
Yeah.
Like, I think The Division is kind of a good focal point for this, because they like evoke politics but then kind of ignore them. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying if they picked the bad side it would be okay, because hey, at least they picked a side. I mean, they'd probably have to show some reasoning, and because art is art, whatever. But I feel like we could also look at Bethesda here with Wolfenstein 2, and the fact that they are leaning into the whole fuck Nazis thing. Not that I'm not on board, because fuck Nazis, but it's clear that they are kind of lucking into this. Like, I'm pretty sure during development, they didn't see the whole coming of neo-Nazi movements. I mean, maybe I don't remember when did Charleston happen? I know, was that after? I think that was after 1 and before 2.
Perhaps.
So they had already started developing 2 by the time that happened. And then they're like, no, we fucking hate Nazis because look at Blazkowicz. He's just killing them.
Yeah.
So what do you think about putting social issues in games, Moose?
I don't have a problem with it, but I agree with you. I think like you need to pick a side. Like if you're gonna pick a side, like The Last of Us 2. Like if they don't make a big deal about it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like it's part of our story. Like why can't it be part of the story? Why does it always have to be like a straight relationship? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they want to tell their story, let them tell their story, and then I mean you don't have to buy their game. You know what I'm saying? And I think it just helps with acceptance. Like, be honest, I'm fucking tired of playing a white guy. I think that's why I'm enjoying Mafia 3 so much. And I have Sleeping Dogs is on my playlist as well, and that's an Asian. So I'm excited about that. I'm tired of seeing a freaking blonde hair, blue eyed, or or
Vin Diesel, or
like I want like it's cool seeing characters of other races and backgrounds. Like I want that as a gamer. Like I'm tired of the same damn thing over and over and over and over and over again, and it just gets annoying to the point where you're just like, like a AAA game will just like fall by the wayside. Like I'm looking forward to Darksiders 3 because you play a female character. I loved Horizon. You played a female character.
You play a female character in a world that's actually surprisingly diverse without going, hey,
right,
us.
Right, like, and that's the other thing. Like, I don't feel like The Last of Us 2 did that to draw attention to it, which is fine. But they're just showing the trailer and like the the relationship or how Ellie has grown, in the last couple of years, which I'm fine with. That's cool, and so like that's awesome, and I agree with you.
If you didn't know about Ellie and you played Left Behind, I'm sorry, you are clueless.
Right, exactly. And like Horizon, like you said, like it's extremely diverse without calling it out. That sometimes I think is the problem. Like you got a lot of gamers, and I'm not saying it's a good or bad problem. It's the problem for some gamers where it's like it's up in their face, and it's just like if you would just let it naturally be, it's not an issue. Like I don't have a problem with it personally, but I can see some gamers just being like, "Oh, well, I don't want to see that happening in my games," and it's like, well, that's not your game, and don't buy it. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like if that's really a deterrent for you, and then whatever, like go on.
I'm pretty sure the developer doesn't need you at this point.
Right. I'm pretty sure that Last of Us 2 is going to outsell Last of Us 1 significantly, and it's not going to need your help whatsoever. So if you don't want to play it, then don't play it and move along, because I feel our world needs to move more so now than ever more towards acceptance of others. And just, I'm of the frame of mind of like, listen, you want to do what you want to do what you want to do. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what's going on. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, do your thing. I don't think the government has the right to come in and tell you can't get married. You can't be, it's just crazy, and I feel like Mafia 3 kind of like hones in on that pretty well too, like with racism, like dealing with racism in the game, and you're just like as an adult, like I'm just like seeing like the undertones and stuff and following it. And it's like, wow, it's like that's pretty like it's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Like what people had to deal with in that time. And so it's just like, whatever. Like I hate to tell you, but like I hate to tell everybody, but like all races are shitty. We've got
we've
got everybody of every race make great doctors, musicians, children just trying to find their way in the world, learning, wanting, like there's good and bad in like everything. Like I hate like the human race is like every single color has its pluses and minuses as far as like we have white trash. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So, like it's just ridiculous how some people want to sit there and get up on their high horse, and it's just like, you know what, why don't you calm down and just try and step into somebody else's shoes for a little bit and see what their world is like, and just shut up and listen and be a little sympathetic,
Mm-hmm.
So but I have no problem with, social commentary in games as long as it's done well,
Right.
like I said, like no like blatantly calling it out and pointing it out sometimes can be annoying. I could find it annoying, but I'm not going to be that person that's like, oh, well, now I don't want to play that game. I'm just like, okay, well, that's annoying, but whatever. I still want to play their game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like Last of Us 2. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? So
I think the thing that bothers me the most, and I know this is probably going to sound a bit disingenuous, is when audience demand forces the hand of a creator.
yes,
like I mean, and this was something Chris and I went back and forth on Platinum Achievements, like because he would start the question is, well, why does a gay person have to be in this game? I'm like, well, I mean, if you're going to ask that particular question, no, a gay person doesn't have to be. What I don't like is when an audience says, hey, I want to play your game, but I'm not represented. Put me in it.
I feel like Mass Effect 3 is the biggest call out for that.
Well, yeah, I think Mass Effect in general,
it was just the biggest blatant thing because, like, if you play
that was what that audience did, yeah.
Right, you play 1 and 2, and Caden, like, nothing, straight dude, and not a plus or minus, and I don't care. I'm just calling it like it is. Like, that's what he was through the game, and then all of a sudden in 3, because of what you were talking about, all of a sudden he's like hitting on a straight Shepard, and you're just like, what? Like, he's not, like, that's not how his character behaved through the game. I don't mind if you're gonna, that's where I have an issue. I don't mind if you have it in the game, but when you have like a series like that going on, then all of a sudden you change like a character because of social commentary from their regular behaving, like that to me bothers me. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like, well, Shepard's the savior of the world. Maybe, maybe that could stoke Caden's fire. But it's just like, okay, I understand that, but it's just like, come on. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm not, and I'm, fuck, man. I love that. I mean, hell, Dave, Reba, and I got engaged. Like, we were watching 2 dudes get married. I love that I live in this future.
Right.
But I also want art to still be free.
Yeah.
I mean, and
it should be free for the creator to do whatever they want.
And like, and like, there are problematic instances on both sides. Like, I don't remember what game it is, but there was one game that I think that it either came out in the last couple of years or it still hasn't come out yet, where like the developer got in front of it and said, yeah, just dudes in this game, no women. Now, at that point, you can say, well, why not?
I don't know what game that is.
I see, and I heard about it on Waypoint Radio, and Like, and see, like, I feel like that instance, it's like, okay, you are deliberately saying nobody else is good enough to fill these roles.
Right.
When you could have just said, oh, it's just all dudes, like after release, it just is. And I feel like that's a better way to deal with it. That game that came out earlier this year, that was the first person medieval game, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
Like, so I think a couple people from that studio were like out on Twitter for years, or well, not years, but like multiple times during its development. Like, I think at one point one of them said, "Yeah, there was no black people here," and then of course when you do that, you are deliberately challenging someone to prove you wrong. And they said, well, yeah, there was. They're like, well, okay, but this is like a specific section of where I grew up, and at that time it was just super rare, so we didn't. And I'm like, no, you see, you done messed up by just saying there wasn't, because at some point, there was. And I mean, what capacity they were in society is a different discussion. I'm not going to say anything more than that, because I feel like I will step into some problems myself, because I don't know the history and I'm not going to pretend to. Also, games that are super demeaning to the female gender as a whole. Like, there are a lot of them that just come out and they are just garbage. Like, there was one that Patrick Klepek did a review on. I wish I remembered the name, but I don't right now. It came out earlier this year. It was a Kickstarter game, and like it's supposed to be like a gritty RPG, like set in hell.
Agony?
That's it. And like everything in this game is completely demeaning to women. Like, women are just playthings, and there's just boobs everywhere, and they are treated like absolute objects. And it is like, just reading his review, I was like, man, this is fucking gross. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say there's no place for it, but at the same time, I'm not going to say, yeah, we should do more of that, because it just sounds awful. And it's counter to everything that I know in my own experience. And I know that if I did that, I would probably have met the business side of, beatdowns or shootings. In this country, you never know. But I do think, and this is my one hill to die on, is that games as an art form need to reflect society in some way, shape, or form. Does Mario jumping on Goombas reflect society? Fuck, I don't know. Maybe somewhere. You could. There are smarter people than I could probably pull that out. But I do know that there are plenty of artists in this industry that have thoughts and ideas and want to tell a story, and they will find the best ways to tell the story from the points of view they want to tell it from, be it theirs or otherwise. And I feel like the more different kinds of stories we get, the better this industry will get. Now, we could also talk about the back end of the industry, where women are paid, 23% less than men on average. That's bullshit, because there are plenty of There are plenty of successful
Men
women.
that aren't worth.
There are plenty of successful and fantastic women that do better than most men. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to point to Amy Hennig. She's probably a better Indiana Jones writer than anybody in the video game industry, except maybe the Tomb Raider people. But so I would point to Gen Z at Supergiant Games. She's got 3 games of some of the best art in this industry. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to point to Lena Raine, who has done music for Guild Wars, Celeste, and a couple of other things that I can't think of right now.
Check her out. What's her name again?
Lena Raine. Just go on Spotify or Google Music. Look for the Celeste soundtrack. It's fucking awesome.
Okay.
These are 3 that I can think of right now that deserve equal, if not more, pay than most dudes.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
the fact that I could walk if I had that credential, I could walk in and make 23 more cents on the dollar than them is bullshit. And I disagree with it completely.
I think the problem with the video game industry is it's more sided towards we need this game to make money. Like if you look at like the movie industry, obviously the book industry, like books they want to make money, all that stuff. But you can put a book out pretty cheaply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it might not hit all audiences, but that author has artwork, that's their art, and they can put it out there, and some people are self-publishing on Amazon, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. And so that works to their favor. And like music, you self-publish, all that stuff. I feel, my opinion, if you're not indie, it's kind of harder to self-publish your game. And I feel that the video game industry, because it's so much younger than movies and music, that it's a couple steps behind, not only in where it's at, but also like its technology for, a team of 15 to make a game like Horizon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that takes a lot of people to make that game. And so I feel like you could have a 3 guys in a band write an album and put it out there, and it's the quality, because they've got the instruments been the same for a while, the recording's been the same for a while, and it's out there. And now they've got like Bandcamp, put your stuff on Spotify, put your stuff on Google Play, get it out there. Whereas in like, I feel the movement more towards artwork for video games is moving more towards indie. Like that's where the creator can really take, their creation and do what they want to do with it. Mm-hmm. Amy Hennig, we can speak to that and her, leaving EA. I have a feeling the main reason she left there was because Electronic Arts was coming in and being like, we need a game, next year or whatever. What are you doing? And they have not hit their wall where them just constantly like trying to control things. It's, like the music industry and trying to control albums and creativity. It's like, no, you let your artists do what they want to do and they'll put their album out and you'll make your money. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem with EA. He's like, no, we're on a schedule. We got to have like so many hits a year. And it's like when you start to try and control your creators, it's when they decide that like she's done, left. Now she's in her own consulting firm, or somebody goes and makes an indie studio and their indie game is phenomenal. And it's way better than any piece of shit that you put out. I'm sure her game, if she makes a game with her consultant firm, I'm sure it's going to be way better than the vast majority of any of the shit that EA puts out. So I think they're just a little bit behind the times. And so I think, as the video game industry ages and things get a little more accessible. And I mean, it's really cool. I feel like the indie scene, as far as like video games gone, has seen a big resurgence because of retro gaming. Mm-hmm. Like taking, and not all of them, I'm just saying, like a lot of them taking modern game mechanics and putting them in, like, hey, here's a game that looks really freaking awesome, like Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Like, that's a game that looks like it belongs on a Super Nintendo, but that fucking thing ain't running on Super Nintendo.
No.
And we all know that.
That would melt the Super Nintendo.
Right. And so you're and it also looks that way. It's just nostalgia, and it's got a cool art style to it, and I love that art style. But like, you have indie developers taking like modern game mechanics and putting them into games that kind of have like an older look to them or have a certain art style to them, and because they don't need a photorealistic engine. That was one of the things that I hated when HD games came out. It's like, well, no, I still like the way, like, some of the older games looked. Like, I still liked sprite based games. I still, you know what I mean? Like, I miss all that. And now I got HD graphics, and now it's a freaking resolution war. Like, who has 4K? Who has 4K? And it's like, you don't, like, 4K is not the thing to chase. You want frame rate and you want performance. And if they keep chasing that resolution, I will never get the AI that I want in a game. We'll never get smarter AI. All it's going to be from here, and until they finally change their ways, it's just going to be more HP and they hit harder. That's all difficulty is going to be, and it's like, that's not fun. I want them to be smarter. You know. So I mean, like in Mafia 3. Like, I could kill 3 guys in a row whistling from around the corner, make them walk around the corner, and just stab them. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna clear this side of the property by just whistling and making them come over, and then just.
I think I heard on Waypoint, Rob Zachney walked up to someone with a silenced pistol and basically shot him in the back of the head, and the henchman next to them did not notice.
Yeah, because they don't hear it.
I'm just like.
Dude, and like their vision is weird. Like, it would be like from like 15 feet away, and you're ducked down behind like something. It's like, you can see me because I can see you, and they don't do anything.
Right.
Like, sometimes they've bettered the AI because now they will react. So like, if there's 2 dudes talking and you shoot one in the head, the other one will see it obviously and react, and he'll turn towards you. And so if you can as your aim gets better, you can get faster at moving your gun over and pop him in the head as he turns. But I still find that normal people, so like you'll go to a territory, and not normal people, just like people working that area. So you'll go to like like an industrial complex area where they're building stuff or whatever, like the dockyards or something. And the guy, not the henchmen, but the guys that are actually working for the henchmen that are just doing their job at the docks, loading boats. You could blow a dude's head off right next to him, and they'll, like, I had a guy who was at a construction site who just was cleaning. He was just mopping the same area as I was. Bad guy after bad guy would come up that area to be like, I know something's up there, and they come up there, and I'd stab him in the chest, or I'd shoot him as they come around the corner. And he just stood there and just swept the floor, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, someone's got to do it.
Right. Hey, if you're not going to be a problem,
that is the most optimistic. That's the most optimistic worker. It's like, well, at least I got a job, right?
He's like, I got a job.
That dude's not killing me.
That guy's killing the guy that just threatened my life because they're, some dude's running around killing people. Oh, wait, it's him. So they're angry, and he's yelling at me, or he's angry about something. And I'm just over here trying to sweep to earn my money, pay my bills, and so.
Got a wife and kid, man. I'm just trying to get by.
But I think like it's without the industry taking chances like like Horizon, Zero Dawn,
or Last of Us,
not that it even was a chance. Like Horizon just happened, and it was what it was, and it was great. There's a lot of diversity there. It was just a world that had diversity, And I think that's the thing. I think in allowing it to be and not calling it out does better service than trying to be like, hey, our game has diversity. Da, 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 da. Like they don't have to say anything. They just basically put the game out, dropped the mic, and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I think we need more of that. It's counterintuitive to acceptance if they're like, here's this is in the game, this is in the game, just let it happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And as it goes, like Horizon, the game is awesome. The gameplay's freaking phenomenal. You could take down a freaking Tyrannosaurus, robot like later on, and I mean that's awesome. The gameplay speaks for itself. The story speaks for itself. The narrative speaks for itself. Like you don't so eventually the people that want to sit there and complain, oh, I don't have a problem with gay people, but I don't want them in my game, they're just not going to give a shit anymore because it's not shoved in their face. It's just there. And they're like, oh, well, actually, I like that. I like the character, so I want to follow his story. Whatever. He can do whatever he wants with his life. Like the gameplay's awesome, story's awesome, narrative's awesome, whatever, instead of it being called out right from the beginning, Right. So that's just my 2 cents.
And I'm with you because the more you draw attention to something, the more people are going to be quick to embrace and quick to question.
Or quick to resist.
Yeah, well, yeah. Better use of better word. Quick to resist. And because here's like in this day and age that we live in Trump's America, as we'll call it, the one thing that most of the supporters of that asshole, the one thing that they dislike is the quote unquote changing of the status quo.
Yeah.
And in art, it's easy to just say this is just how it is, and you could just regard it rather than being yes, the motivation here is these two are both transgender and in a relationship, and you just have to deal with it. Like, right. There are ways that, I feel like one of the coolest reveals in the original Last of Us, spoiler for a 5-year-old game, was I don't remember the dude's name, but when you get to that town and you meet up with Joe's friend, I don't remember his name, and he keeps talking. He keeps talking about his partner.
Oh yeah,
and then you find out that they were like more than just buddies. Like they weren't just two dudes who had each other's backs. Like they were in a relationship.
Right, I would say his name was Frank.
Yeah, the other one's dude was the dead guy's name is Frank. I don't remember the other guy. But you get to that area, and that's like it's painted one way, and then you get that turn on its head, like right towards the end of that section, and you just see like the look on his face, and this is the only reason why this works, especially with like photorealistic, but like you see everything written out without actually him just going, well, I'm a gay man and Frank was my gay lover and blah, blah, blah. You just realize that these are just two people rather than labels.
Yeah.
And that was one of the more wrenching things in that game for me.
His name was Bill.
Bill
was awesome. I remember Bill.
Bill was awesome. Like he was just doing his thing. But yeah, that was one of the cooler things in that game, and it was because the player went the distance to find out. I'm pretty sure you could skip all the collectibles and stuff and move on and be like, oh, Bill was just pissed off about his friend, but whatever. And that doesn't change the experience for you. I mean, I just feel like that the way that Naughty Dog handled that particular moment, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of something. There was something else in the back of my head as I was doing that, and I completely forgot. I mean, like, and we go back to. I'm not going to go back to Horizon because we were just there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot what I forgot what I had going. So the fact is, we create a status quo in art, and like I feel like there's the often you saying art imitates life. I don't really think that's. I mean, that's true, but I think also art can imitate the life we want, and it can point us towards the life we want. Maybe that might be a little better than the life we have. So let art be art, and developers, if any of you ever hear this, continue to put social issues in your games, but don't just say, "Hey, this is a thing," and then ignore it.
Right, or just don't leave. Just let it be. Just put it in there and let it be. That's the main thing. Just let it be. You know, you want to say something about something, let your piece of art do the talking for you.
Say it with the art. Say it with the art.
Or let, I mean, obviously you can talk about it, but don't, like, that's the other problem. I feel like with gaming, that's where I was trying to go with that as well. It's like, it's the marketing. It's the marketing machine.
Yeah.
Got to talk about all the selling points about your game, and you can't just have it be there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Whereas in Horizon did that. But I feel like Horizon, you know, Guerrilla is a special case because, you know, it's Sony's own studio, and Sony, like, is just kind of like, you know, do your thing. So they didn't really talk about it. And
Horizon also had the take down giant metal dinosaurs thing.
Right.
As it's like, that's your marketing right there.
Right. But they
want to be a badass taking down giant metal robots? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it just came out and it was like, this is a great game.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So.
And there's all this shit in here that's not treated with disrespect. Fucking cool.
So it's like, I feel like if they could just, you know, not use it as a marketing point, you know, speak to it if you want to, as long as it's not like, hey, this is in the game because we want to put it in the game so that, you know, we have, you know, heterosexual or homosexual relationships in our games. Your character can have homosexual relationships because we want to speak to our, you know, that customer base. You know, that's ridiculous. You know, just let it happen. I mean, if somebody's like, hey, can your character do this? And you'd be like, yeah, it's their world. They can do whatever they want. Yep. You know, that speaks more volumes than like anything else. You know, just letting it happen. You know, just let this happen.
Except when it's creepy, like what Moose did.
Yeah.
All right. So we've either done that to death and did well, or stuck our foots in our mouth. Probably both.
A little bit of column A,
and you know what? I'm cool with it. I mean, hopefully people hear this and want to have a discussion with us because I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else you want to talk about, Moose? Anything else? Rattling the old noggin?
Damn, I got to beat some games before the end of July.
Well, you're what, 9 in or are you 10 in?
I've got 22. I think I'm 9 in.
Okay.
So, but I have a lot of short games. So that's my thing. That's my saving grace. So I'm trying to get Mafia 3 out of the way, jump into Final Fantasy 15, get that out of the way, Divinity Original Sin, knock that out, and then I feel like I'd be in the home stretch with I got like Battlefield, Prey, Deus Ex, Cosmic Star Heroine, Odin Sphere. Odin Sphere's on the go as well. So I've got. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Use your Vita. Like I would use Octopath Traveler as a reward for getting the stuff you can do on Vita out of the way. Right.
I mean, I know Cosmic Star and Odin Sphere are definite Vita titles.
Yeah, they are. They are. But I know like Jeff, I think, is like 4 games away from beating it, but he's like only like 30% through Divinity Original Sin, and he has Nino. He just started Nino Kuni last night.
Jeez.
And
Nino
then I
Kuni
know
is a long fucking game.
And then I know Jason has The Witcher. So
yeah, but
I don't think they're not going to complete their challenge. I just don't. I don't like. I need to keep moving. Like I'm moving through Mafia 3, but they are just further ahead than me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm leaving like and Ratchet and Clank. I've got Ratchet and Clank to do and Sleeping Dogs. So I've got like smaller games. So I'm kind of like keeping those for like the later months when it gets real busy, and I can just be like, all right, well I'm gonna do. I'll knock Battlefield 1 out because that's on my list as well. That's like a 10, 15-hour game.
Here's my suggestion to you. Take it what it's worth. I'm full of shit anyway. I would put the Switch away. And the reason I tell you that is because if you know Cosmic Star and Odin Sphere are beatable, like soonish, I would get those. I would travel with those and do those at work. Continue Mafia 3 at the clip that you are. Your next thing should be something different, and like hopefully something 10 to 15 hours ish. Then go into Divinity, just because I don't know how long that game is.
It's like freaking. I think it's like 100 hours. It's got to be over.
I mean, I know. I mean, I looked at the platinum once, and I know the platinum is like 50. So, or it's like 50 to 100. So you're looking at 60, 70 hours at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would run at Divinity till you see credits. Then, like, Ratchet and Clank.
Sphere is not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
maiden story for the main story at Leisure is 37 hours, and I think I was talking to Jeff about it the other day because I was like, I might have already beaten it because I don't think I've seen credits roll, but like I beat it with. It's like one of those games where like, okay, you beat it with one character, and then like. It continues with another character. Like the story continues with them, and it kind of picks up where the other one left off. And so
they did the same thing with Muramasa, except the difference is in Muramasa you don't see credits at the end of one of those stories.
Yeah, I don't think Odin Sphere has end credits either at the end of the stories. So like you're just like you play as like the queen, and then or the princess, and then now you're playing as her potential boyfriend or whatever. And so it's just like what's going, So it's just, like I said, playing through it. And so, like I said, I got to pick it up and just keep playing until I can beat that. And same with Cosmic Star Heroine. I'd like to platinum that, but, like, platinuming is, like, on the back burner. Yeah. And that was the one thing that we didn't really do with the challenges was it was just, like, we should have, like, thought, like, hey, our podcast is Nerds Gone Platinum. Not like Nerds Gone Challenge. So
well, I feel like what you guys could have done was like not necessarily a trophy race, but like a platinum race, but then like set parameters around that.
Yeah, and like, so like next year,
none of this, 1,000 points.
Was that
whatever? Like none of those like
1,000 5+ star rating.
Yeah.
Whatever.
None of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like nothing like. You could platinum in like 3 hours.
Well, yeah, but in like next year, like I have some games set up that I want to platinum next year, and I'm probably gonna double platinum Cosmic Star Heroine because both the trophy lists are different. But it's like next year, I told them both like we're just playing games.
Yeah,
So because I mean, Divinity Original Sin launches August 31st, and Jeff wants to get it, but it's like we got the challenge going on. Yeah. So, I mean, so it's just, you're going to have to skip a lot of stuff just because of this challenge. And, it's just crazy. So, But anyways, like I said, I just have to like bunker down and just start beating it. Like I said, I'm doing good with Mafia. I might not be moving, like I'm moving at a faster pace because I stopped going after all the collectibles.
Yeah.
Like, and I stopped trying to unlock all the junction boxes. So like you unlock a junction box and then it shows you like the enemies in the area. Well, now I've gotten enough credit with one of my underlings that like it's called an inside man. Like I see the enemies without a junction box being unlocked there. So like I don't need to do any more junction box. The only reason I would do the junction box is to find the hidden stuff. And like I know there's like album covers and paintings and all this stuff around, and I'm just kind of skipping it as I'm like moving along through the story. So
yeah.
Anyways, like I said, it's a good game. It's definitely a 7, 7.5 at the most. But it's definitely, I'd say pick it up if you can get it on sale and just play through the story because the story's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to play it. So,
anyways,
maybe one day. Yeah.
What about you? Are you like, what's your next platinum? I mean, you did Adventure Pals. Did you find it to be hard? Is it a hard platinum?
No, it's a super easy platinum.
Was that her first platinum, or did you?
Well, she hasn't gotten it yet. She has to get a character to level 20. And
that's the only trophy she has.
That's the only trophy she doesn't have. Yeah, she's
wow. So she can get a character.
The thing. Nice. Yeah. So the thing is, we played it through already and beat it, and like I knew as we were about to beat it that we had missed a trophy. So I was like, okay, we have to go through it again. No big deal. But she didn't get the level 20 trophy, which pissed me off. And she immediately said, you know what? Now I know what you're talking about when you say like you're working on a platinum and you don't look like you're having fun. And it's because you want to do the 100%, but like you're either repeating something or you're doing something tedious.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that's basically it. And that's why I try and do it only in games that I think are fun. Luckily, Adventure Pals is really fun, and I have no problem going back through it with Reba again. And so we got the missable one, and now all she has to do is basically go through the game, get fully leveled, and she will have her first platinum. And
nice.
I'm excited to see that. It was like, I feel like that's a cool thing. It was like when you got your first platinum, Moose.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you were just a wee baby.
Can't remember what it was.
Diablo, maybe.
Probably Diablo.
And
then I think it was Infamous Second Son, and then Helldivers.
Yep. All that. So other than that, like Ahmed has popped back up. He's back in the UK, and he finally got a hold of Dark Souls. So I'm going to probably get into some shenanigans with him, and that I got to work on. I got to finish that game. I got to get that platinum again.
Yeah, well, I know Jason's working towards it. So
yeah, well, how many games does he have left on his challenge?
If you give me a second, I'll look it up. But I know he's slowly working through the trophies on that, but he doesn't have very much. And he had 24 games just because he picked collections. Like he picked the Batman collection and the BioShock collection. So Jeff has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jeff has 6 games. He's got Heavy Rain, Ni no Kuni. He's got I Am Setsuna, Divinity Original Sin, Dishonored, and Chrono Trigger. He has those left. That's all he has left? Wow. Yeah, he just finished Alien. He just finished Alien Isolation the other night.
Wow.
Jason has Alien Isolation. He finished Origami. I don't know why he didn't cross that out. He's got the BioShock collection. He's got one of the games. He actually has 3 games in that.
What is Origami?
That's the game. It's like a stealth ninja game. It's by the guys, the people that made it made something else. It's Aragami.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has Dragon's Dogma, Final Fantasy 15, and The Witcher 3. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 6 games as well. I have Deus Ex, Divinity Original Sin, Doom, Dragon's Dogma, Dying Light, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, Mafia 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, Prey, Ratchet and Clank, Sleeping Dogs, and Yakuza Kiwami. I got a bunch of games. To get through. Yeah. So, I mean, they both went like hog wild at the beginning of the year, which is fine. And so now I've got to just, like I said, every night I come home, it's back to Mafia 3. So it'll be Mafia 3 until I beat it. So.
Yeah, I think you just have to. I mean, a couple of those games do take a while. I feel like Fallout doesn't take as long as.
Oh, did I say Fallout? I don't have Fallout anymore. I'd swapped that for Dragon's Crown and Odin Sphere. And Dragon's Crown I beat within like a weekend.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was that short because I already owned it on Vita.
You did the right thing there.
So like, I didn't know how short it was, and I had it on Vita, and so I asked them. I was like, "Hey, I want to," because I bought it for the PS4, the Pro version on PS4. And I was playing it, and I was like, "Oh, I love this game. I want to put it on the challenge." And so I swapped out Fallout 4. And so, anyway, and plus I swapped in Odin Sphere because it was the same. It's Vanillaware. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, that's probably a game of theirs I should beat too." So, anyways, I think that's enough talk about my challenge.
Yeah. So go forth, beat games.
I'm gonna try and do a couple missions in Mafia 3 before bed.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do some Captain Toad.
You, sir. Have a good evening. And the listeners.
You too. I have to grab the banana. Where's the banana? There it is.
I don't know.
I completely forgot to get it. So, this has been episode 104 of Nerds Gone Rogue. What the fuck show is this? I'm only on one. I should remember its title.
I know.
This has been episode 104 of Nerds Gone Rogue. We're so happy you're here. We're so happy you stayed with us. Congratulations to our video in chief for the recent addition to he and Sana's family. I raised my bottle, but it is empty. So cheers anyway. Moose, where can we find you?
Y'all can find me at Svhenn, SVHENN, on Instagram, Twitter. You can also watch me and Jeff and Jason talk about our favorite platform of gaming, the PlayStation Nation ecosystem. The PlayStation Switch. I have Nerds Gone Platinum. You can tweet us at NG_Platinum or send us questions, comments, and concerns to nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com. I'm mainly on PS4. I think Corey's been doing it forever now, but our Switch codes are in the description for the show. If you want to add me there, you can add me there. But I don't do a lot of online gaming on the Switch just because their network is weird. So,
well, and they don't offer a ton.
Well, I think their main problem is there's like, I think it's funny how like Fortnite just came in and was like, fuck your crazy ass adapter for talking to people online. People can talk.
We don't need no app.
We don't need that. And so now like a lot of companies are coming back through and offering like their own chat service and not even using Nintendo's. And it's like, that's awesome and amazing and a big fuck you to Nintendo. Cause like, you don't have to make this difficult. Why are you making it difficult? Like, you don't have to make your fucking customers buy every little thing to do something on your console.
True.
You know? Like stop being an old school dick.
Well, and then on top of that, they're piling onto this whole cross-play nonsense, which is dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not saying cross-play is dumb. I'm saying the way that they are piling on is dumb because it is very rich. Nintendo talking about how easy it is when they have done nothing but make things fucking difficult.
Right.
I mean, and the sad part is people have gone into games on Switch and proven that all this shit works. There's voice chat in Splatoon that Nintendo cock blocks. Yeah. There's voice chat in all of their games that they block. Because why?
Because they're Nintendo.
Exactly.
Make it hard.
Now, other than that,
where can we find you, Matt?
I really like Nintendo still. You could
Well,
find
we understand they do good games, and I like the
Yeah.
Switch too.
I mean,
I'm just, I shit on Sony for some of their stupid decisions.
Oh yeah, totally. Like not allowing crossplay. But
Which is dumb.
I will say this. I only criticize shit I want to be better. I'm not going to criticize to troll. I'm not going to criticize to put people down. I want you to be better. That's all. Just like Neymar in the World Cup. He's a diving little bitch. Be better. That's all I want. You can find me at infinite_rewind on every social media platform I choose to be a part of. That is predominantly PS4, Twitter, and Instagram. More Instagram than Twitter because my Twitter just reflects my Instagram. You like records? That's what I post there. I have done my second installment of my weekly rotation. Went up yesterday. Check that out. Feel free to comment and tell me my music taste is shit like Moose does every so often.
I don't tell you it's shit.
You're probably thinking it.
Nah. No, I like a lot of the records you post. I'm like, I should listen to that. I do.
I appreciate
like,
that.
At the time, I'm like, I would probably enjoy that. Or, yes, that's a good album. Or, yes, that's a good artist. Like, that more so comes out of my mouth than, like, skip.
What the fuck?
Yeah, or, like, what the fuck. Like, So.
But you can read that on ngrradio.com. And then this has been NGR Radio. We go live every Monday night on YouTube. If you don't want to watch us on YouTube, we show up on your podcast service of choice every Monday morning, I think before 9 a.m. Yeah. I'll make this promise to everybody listening to this point. I will be better about the details next week. We both
will be better.
Yeah. We also do B-sides right before the show on Monday. That goes live every Friday at noon. I do know that one. If you want to email us, I believe it's ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com. Email us. We will talk about your stuff on the show. As long as it's appropriate. If you are a Nigerian prince who needs our information, we're not talking to you.
Just send you a check for $20,000 for and we'll get like a refund of $50.
I've fallen down that rabbit hole one too many times.
So that's why you're blowing sailors at the port. You're trying to pay off that debt.
No, that's just fun.
Okay.
I mean,
Plus, all of that stuff I believe
live a little
is in our description.
Yeah.
Too. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't knock it till you've tried it. My Switch code and Moose's Switch code, as well as what we show up on Switch, that's in the description. And yeah, until next week, we love you. Banana and out.
You're welcome.
Word. You can broadcast for 24 hours before you will automatically be shut down. So Moose, we got 24 hours.
There we are. Well,
so long, YouTube. We're burning this shit down.
Yeah, we are. Popping that chat out. Get it going.
Yeah. Where's that chat at? Give me that chat. Give me that chat. Give me that chat. Give me all that chat.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
All right. I'm ready whenever. What are you drinking?
Highball energy. I'm so tired.
Ain't nobody got time for coffee. Coffee.
All right.
All right.
So B-side. I'll mention the World Cup because it's kind of my thing.
Right. And it just ended.
And talk about some music because I got some stuff I want to talk about a little bit.
Okay.
You could talk about your stuff you're listening. I mean, it's nothing like super huge. It's just an album I want to talk about.
Okay.
And because I was actually going to do like my favorites of the year list and just throw them at you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was on portables today, so I was running for 9 hours. So I couldn't do that. So maybe next week.
Maybe next week. Sounds good.
All right. Well, since Corey won't count down a B-side, I certainly will. You ready?
I'm ready whenever you are.
3, 2, 1. Word. Okay.
There's that. I have like 5 or 6 sips in my beer, so I'm gonna hold on to it until we get on the main show and we can cheers our main man for being out.
Well, I'm gonna.
I was like, I don't want to go get another one
because you're trying to cut back, but then Kelly just said, "Nah, you don't need to."
Well, I also had a beer with a buddy of mine today. But I'm 160 calories under my calorie intake for the day. So
oh, okay. All right. Well,
I'm like, I want to be more than that under. I like to be 200 to 300 under, but I'm 186 calories under what I need to for the day. And I'm just like, that's fine with me. And I didn't even eat dinner. I had like 2 garlic knots, and that was it. So
I think I am maybe a couple of hundred calories over today's. But
but you ran around a lot. If you put a Fitbit on yourself, I bet you would be allotted a lot of calories if you were moving a lot.
I got home from work yesterday and I said, I really want pizza. He was like, I want pizza too. So we ordered. My rule is you order 2 and then eat leftovers. I ate a full pizza yesterday.
Jesus, man. I'm one to talk, man. Like I'll eat like. Dude, I fully believe that beer gives you the munchies way worse. Not that I speak from firsthand experience.
I didn't have a beer till after pizza.
But I mean, like, I get incredibly, like, I just want to eat, like, everything and anything while I'm drinking. It's crazy. So, anyways. Yep.
So yeah, I'm over my calorie count today from yesterday.
Well, you'll be all right, man. Like I said, I feel if you wore a Fitbit, like if you put a Fitbit on yourself, I think you would find out that you probably broke even. Because you don't like if you were on your feet all day moving, like you were saying for 9 hours out of the day, like that's a lot of movement, man. You probably got in like a cardio workout, like like you probably burned. I hope so. 800 calories.
I would like to, but like you, I need to seriously.
Other things got to cut back.
I've got to seriously consider going to the gym, like
full time.
Well, not full time, but like I need to do something active, and I don't feel like I'm active enough. Despite days like today where I run for 9 hours,
and it's harder as we get older.
Yeah.
That's the fucking problem. And so, like, I need to get into that, too. Like, I need to start just dedicating time. Like, now that my time getting home from work is a lot more, like, it's stable now. It's more stable. And so, like, today I left at, like, 5:30. So, if we weren't podcasting, I can come home, change, go to the gym, and get my routines in. So it'll be nice later in the week, like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday when I'm not podcasting. But anyways, it is what it is. It's just I'm hoping Captain Canada can turn over that routine pretty quickly. If not, I think I'm probably going to end up finding one online.
I think he will, because he seems
here's the thing. I know he's awesome, and I don't hold it against him. But
no.
He's got a wife and 3 kids and a crazy life, and so I'm just like, I appreciate the thought, but I don't. I'm not going to be an asshole and expect something from him. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Yeah,
it would be different if it was reversed, and like I was trying to do a routine for him, and I have like no kids. You know what I mean? Like I have, it's just me, the wife, and the dogs. Like. I have way
and
more
your debilitating game addiction.
Well, that and my debilitating beer addiction and my, debilitating Switch addiction now. An Octopath Traveler. But, it's just, shit, we can make this part of the show, man. Might as well. But it's just.
It will be. It'll just be at the end.
Be at the end. But, it's just like. I understand where he's coming from, so it's like I'm not going to be upset if I just go out and kind of do my own thing, until because it's just like I said, he's a busy man. Mm-hmm. He's trying to do his own gym routine as well, so it's there's no hard feelings there, none whatsoever, just realism. It's realism is what it is, like
realistism.
I am living in a state of reality, and my expectations. I have high expectations of Matt as a friend, but in this regard, it's cool. I'm understanding. I'm very understanding, so it's all good. So, if he does get into me, I'm excited to put it to. Well, see,
I feel like you would be more pissed if he just stopped talking to you about building a PC.
Yeah, or just stop talking to us in general.
Well,
he's kind of. I think. He's almost down that path. Although he talks in our chat. For the listeners at home, the 3 of us are in a chat together, and we've been for a long time. And it's my favorite thing to check every day. And I know I don't pop in there as often as I should, and sometimes I'm just like 1-word responses, and it sucks. But life is life, and it's just. I understand what he's done. He's gone down that PC rabbit hole. And he's prepping for the World of Warcraft expansion that's coming out. And he's trying to get shit before it disappears after the new expansion comes out. And I understand that. So go do that, But he's not on PS4 that much anymore like he used to with us. Yeah. The 3 of us haven't played a game together in fucking forever.
Over a year.
It's been a long, long time. And so it's almost to the point where I'm like, I'm probably also building the PC so the 2 of us can hang out, like him and I can play something together. But anyways,
that would be like part of my list too, because I fucking miss that guy.
Yeah, I miss him too. And we talked to him like Wednesday. Gideon called me on Monday night before the podcast, and we were talking about how life's going, how things are going. I was telling him you're engaged and. Phillips has another kid and all this stuff and updating them on what's going on. And then he was like, I saw you hopped on PS4 and I was just checking to see what's going on. I was like, I was just hopping on before podcasting, just seeing what's going on, on PlayStation, maybe jumping a couple missions on Mafia 3. And then I said, but I'll be free Wednesday because I record Tuesday for the Platinum. And he's like, all right. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll be on. He's like, I got a new headset and stuff. And so we were talking about playing everybody's golf, and Phillips was interested, and then neither of them showed up. And so it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna fucking. I wasn't playing everybody's golf. I just ended up playing what I was playing and never switched because I didn't see either of them get on. So it's just like, all right, whatever, man. It's cool.
Gideon's a busy dude.
Yeah, especially with his new job. So
he is now.
Yeah, which hey, cheers to him. He's surviving it, man. He's doing his thing out there. I think he said he's gonna get a new truck soon, and turning over a new leaf. He's got a girlfriend now named Kelly, which is funny. I don't know. I don't judge. He's missing snowboarding because I don't think it's season now, obviously, because it's warmer weather where he's at. But I'm ready to start.
Let's do
the main show. Yeah.
All right. I gotta get my little quote here. Okay.
So you'll have to. So I didn't like. I'm aware of the topic we're going to talk about, but I don't know how you want to tackle it. So just run over it when we get into it.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not really talking about one thing over any others, but
yeah,
you'll be able to roll along with me.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So where is it? Okay. Anything left in this? No. Okay.
I should have worn my sunglasses too.
3, 2, 1.